Welcome back, everyone, to my final special top 10 list of stuff from 2021. This is my top 10 personal favorite films of 2021. Took a while, but I wanted to give my opinions. Now, early on in the year, first half of 2021, I did see some of the MCU films, and I'm going to mention some now. First, some honorable mentions, then some dishonorable mentions, aka films that honestly let me down, disappointed me. First up of honorable mentions, Red Notice. I don't know why the critics hate the film so much. From what I've seen of it, it's a superb film. I think it's probably the best original movie released on Netflix that I can really think of in a while, more or less. I really think the quality's there. It's good. I don't think really any film is probably ever going to outdo The Irishman, but I do think for what it is, it's a great film. Plus, I mean, you have three incredible, like, big names in it. You have Dwayne The Rock Johnson. You have, also, of course, let's not forget, Ryan Reynolds and another certain someone. But all very well big stars. So that was definitely a big deal, I think, for Netflix to get a film like this. It actually, at least it feels like way better quality than like a straight to like TV movie. It feels like a film that would be released theatrically, and technically it did, though it was a small limited release. But with that said, next honorable mention, a film I do highly recommend. I think over this past year, it is probably my second favorite. Yeah, I would say of traditional like horror slash suspense films, it was probably my like third or fourth favorite horror film of the year, and that is Halloween Kills, which of course had a big sequel done by one of my favorite, of course, current bands, that being Ghost. Suitable also to do a thing for a Halloween film. But no, seriously, Halloween Kills is good. I recommend checking it out if you're a big fan of the slasher genre. Also, honorable mention I want to give is goes to The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. Sadly, I didn't enjoy it as much as The Conjuring 1 and 2. Obviously, you can also tell that James Wan himself did not direct this film, but I think it was pretty good for like I believe it was actually a director debut doing this film, and I think it was really well executed personally, and I enjoyed it still for what it was, and I would probably rank this like my third favorite horror film of the year, for me personally. Now a couple of dishonorable mentions, aka films that disappointed me. First of the films that did disappoint me, I want to mention was Welcome to Raccoon City, also done by Netflix. It's a shame. One of my favorite films of the year was done by Netflix, and one of my least favorite films of the year was done by Netflix. I hate to say it, but Welcome to Raccoon City makes me actually appreciate those really stupid 2000 slash early 2010 films around the character Alice. I'll be honest, and this kind of felt like a straight to like DVD type movie as well. The quality just wasn't there. And it actually makes me, I think, appreciate actually some of the films like Resident Evil Afterlife and Resident Evil Apocalypse. This one makes me actually appreciate some of those a little bit more. I would say right now this is the worst live action Resident Evil film, and that's saying some, because I hated Extinction, as well as Retribution, and Last Chapter. Anyways, next dishonorable mention, or rather disappointing film of the year, Black Widow, was honestly a disappointment to me. I don't think it was a bad film overall, but it was definitely, I don't think, to the standard of quality that I used to consider the MCU, basically Phase 1 to Phase 3. To me, so far, Phase 4 has really been very underwhelming in the quality department. But unfortunately, after stuff I learned earlier this year, though, I did not see the third MCU film of the year, Eternals. I'm sure I would have been on my dishonorable mentions list, but I didn't even go see it since, well, right now I'm not buying anything, spending any money on any new merchandise or anything from Walt Disney Company right now. Also, two more dishonorable mentions. For me, these were the two biggest disappointments of the year for me personally, of movies. That is probably the number two most disappointing movie of the year for me personally was Injustice Gods Among Us animated movie. Yes, I ended up just renting it digitally through YouTube. I will say this is a bad film in general, and I'm really disappointed because of how good the actual story was in the story mode in the Injustice video game as well as in the comics. There was so much material, they tried to shove so much in, and they even changed several elements in this from the actual Injustice storyline. I don't know why they felt like they needed to add their own little twist and stuff at the end, but to me, it just made it easily my number two most disappointed film of the year for me. Number one most disappointed film of the year for me personally was the new Mortal Kombat movie. I was not happy with how they portrayed Reiko. Reiko is one of my easily favorite characters from MK4 into Mortal Kombat Armageddon and stuff, and in the MKX comics series. Superb storytelling, but I also did not like the casting of Shang Tsung in the movie. And I don't like this new made-up character they created. Plus, making Mortal Kombat stuff into a mark or tattoo. I will say, like most people probably would say, the best thing about the movie was Kano, and that's it. Everything else in the movie was very underwhelming. How they portrayed stuff. What little bit of Scorpion we had was awesome, but it they also turned Liu Kang into a joke. I'll be honest, I'm just fed up. I'm definitely not going to be watching any future live action Mortal Kombat movies. I can be very blunt honest on that. Besides, the animated films are like 10 times better. With that said, coming at number 10 is actually an MCU film. To me, it was, at least of the two I saw, this is by far, I think, several times better than Black Widow. Coming at number 10 is Shang Chi. This is a film I'm actually was pleasantly surprised by, and I'm glad. And also for some statements from one of the big actors from the film, I actually respect him. If it wasn't for boycotting stuff from Disney, I would probably be picking this up on Blu-ray, in all honesty. I thought Shang-Chi was a great movie. And I definitely think if you're interested, may do what I'm probably do, eventually I'll probably try to get the film pre-owned. But anyways, yeah, seriously, give Shang-Chi a shot. It's a great martial arts film, in my opinion. Coming in at number 9 was a film I was hoping to like more than I did, but at least I can honestly say I still enjoyed the film. I've seen it twice so far, and I did enjoy David Bautista as well as many other actors in this movie. For me, the number 9 favorite film of the year goes to Dune of 2021. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed Dune. I've never seen the original 80s Dune film, so I can't compare it to anything previously. So I have no previous knowledge or experience with the Dune story or anything. I only can go based off this. Maybe that's why I may have liked it more than some people. I don't know. I am happy I got to watch it through HBO Max. One of the positives about it. Also, coming in at number 8, which was another film I genuinely enjoyed, and I really enjoyed, of course, Ryan Reynolds in the film. And that was a surprise film I was not expecting. I decided just out of sheer interest, because of being a pretty big Ryan Reynolds fan, that I'd give the movie a shot, and I genuinely loved it. Then again, Taika Waititi was involved, so Taika Waititi stuff I've seen so far. But coming in for me at number 8 goes to Free Guy. If you haven't seen Free Guy, I highly recommend watching it and checking it out. Coming in at number 7 is a film I originally forced myself to watch, the theatrical version of that being Justice League, but I can say after seeing the extended version known as, of course, the Snyder Cut, coming at number 7 for 2021, surprisingly, is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm really surprised I enjoyed the Snyder Cut. I mean, I think it's like 10 times better than the original. Just know it takes a lot of patience to watch it because it's like 4 hours long. Luckily for me, I don't mind long movies because I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings as well as like Avatar. So, like, long movies don't bother me in the least. With that said, coming in at number 6 was a film I was actually very pleasantly surprised, and I'm happy to say I enjoyed the film. Coming at number 6 for me personally was Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think it was a great film overall. I liked the more indie feel I had. Plus, I also liked that we got a certain actor as a teacher in the film, obviously portrayed by somebody more people may know today more for his role as Ant-Man. But I thought it was great. I liked how they introduced these new characters like grandkids of a specific old school Ghostbuster. For me, out of the 4 Ghostbuster films, this is probably my third favorite. Arguably, like many people, I do really love the original Ghostbuster, though Ghostbusters 2 is actually my personal favorite, so I know I have a weird taste. But yeah, for me, coming at number 6 for the year went to Ghostbusters Afterlife. And I'm happy, and I'm curious to see where it goes from here. At least it had the old feel and soul to it of the old Ghostbuster films, unlike a certain film that was released about 5.5 years ago. Coming in at number 5 is a film that I'm genuinely happy about. Number 5 ended up my favorite horror film or suspense film of the year. Coming at number 5 is the most recent indie horror film by, of course, the very somewhat, at times, very polarizing, controversial director known as, of course, M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, my 5th favorite film of the year goes to Shyamalan's newest film, Old. It's definitely an acquired taste film. I will say that right off the bat. Just know that this is very much a film that not a lot of people are going to like. It's a very acquired taste. Like many M. Night Shyamalan movies, it's definitely an acquired taste. Well, with the exception of maybe movies like The Sixth Sense, um, Unbreakable. Though I will say films like The Village are definitely acquired taste movies, which I like. So just keep that in mind. I like more Shyamalan movies than I think a lot of people. And I am happy with now, this has made now 4 movies in a row from M. Night Shyamalan that I've really enjoyed. And I'm happy to see him come back to a point where you can once again consider M. Night Shyamalan a good or decent director. I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy after The Visit, after, like, uh, Glass, or after, of course, before that, Split, and then Old. All great films, in my opinion. So I'm happy M. Night is back to a point where it doesn't feel kind of disappointing or feel bad to be an M. Night fan. I'm just glad about that. Coming in at number 4 for me of the year was a straight-to-VOD release, animated film. For me, 4th favorite movie of the year goes to Mortal Kombat Legends, Battle of the Realms. Though they tried to mix many things from MK2 as well as MK3 together, and other elements, but it turned out, I think, for the most part, very solid, very well done, genuinely great. I had a few issues here and there, but it was a very tight film, pretty well paced for the most part, and I think the voice acting work was good, the animation was great. Overall, this makes basically the live action Mortal Kombat movie look like nothing in comparison. When you look at the quality between the live action movie and the animated film, the anime Mortal Kombat film was 10 times better, if not 100 times better. But yeah, so far I've been very happy with the 2 animated Mortal Kombat Legend films. So hopefully, please keep this up, DC. Please make a superb third animated film in the Mortal Kombat Legends series because I'm really looking forward after the first two. Coming in at number three is, or yeah, coming in number three is definitely going to be an interesting movie. I wasn't sure how much at the end of the day that I was going to enjoy it, and I was very pleasantly surprised. My number three favorite movie of the year goes to James Gunn, and of course, a certain Harley Quinn and many others. Thank you, Elba, as well as many actors. Oh, yeah, and by the way, John Cena was great in the movie. Loved him. Coming at number three favorite movie of 2021 goes to The Suicide Squad. I am genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed. I thought John Cena was actually one of the standouts in the movie as a whole. So that makes me very happy. Keep in mind, them also at the same time biased because I love both the Guardians of the Galaxy films. I've enjoyed most of James Gunn's work so far. So, and he once again really made a pleasing film I really enjoyed. It's a shame it didn't do better than it did, but nevertheless, yeah, my third favorite film of the year goes to The Suicide Squad. Number two favorite movie of the year is a very recent film I saw. I've only seen it once so far, which is why it's only at number two right now. So, with that said, coming at number two favorite movie of 2021 goes to Spider Man No Way Home. Now, I did have a few issues here and there, but it's a great film, especially for nostalgia factor if you grew up on the Sam Raimi films, as well as you actually appreciate the Amazing Spider Man films like myself. This is a great film for Spider Man fans of all groups and all ages, in my opinion. That's the thing it has going for it. Now, I've only seen it once so far, which is why it's only at number two. However, my number one favorite film of the year, I have now watched 5 times. And there's a reason why the whole time in the background I had this sitting here. Coming at number one favorite movie of the year, I genuinely thought Spider Man would take the number one spot. But it ended up coming in at number two. Number one favorite movie of 2021 goes to Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Love this movie. I saw it twice in the theater, and I've seen it now 3 times just since I got the Blu-ray. Seriously, this is a great film. Great sense of humor. If you really appreciate the first Venom movie like myself, I'll admit I loved the first Venom. But admittedly, I'm also very biased because I'm a longtime fan of Venom, as well as Spider-Man and Todd McFarlane's work. So, and given I knew Todd was actually involved in a few things here and there behind the scenes of this film, and you can definitely tell that the film was done by Andy Serkis because of how good the CGI is in the movie. And they really worked hard on pushing the PG-13 rating on this film. It was definitely a hard PG-13. Also, I thought it was hilarious how they used the one F-bomb, which of course kind of became a tradition for the X-Men series, and I think for other films moving forward. And I think Venom actually did it superb and well done. I think the film, for the most part, actually has pretty good pacing. And at only like a little over 90 minutes long, it's very quick. It gets through beginning to end, no problem. You don't at any time feel like the film is going too slow. It has, I think, a good build up. And I actually really enjoyed the arguing between Venom and also Eddie Brock. I love the interactions and the clashing back and forth between the two. It's fun, and also I will say, a certain someone who plays Cassidy in the movie, he killed it as Cassidy. He was awesome as Carnage. Loved it. And the big fight at the end of the film was very enjoyable as well. I think they actually did a very good job with Carnage. I thought they did an excellent job on executing everything, all the elements. It was kind of weird about having a love interest for Cassidy, but it was interesting also the introduction of film to a certain institution from the Spider-Man universe with the title Raven in it. Yeah, if you're an old school Spider-Man fan, you're going to get a lot of the references in this film. And I like the fact how it more or less distanced itself pretty much from, well, obviously from the MCU, and I'm glad for that. It allowed the film to be a lot darker than it was. Plus, I love like the ending of the film with Venom, like basically ends up, spoiler alert, ends up in another one of the realities affected from obviously the events of No Way Home, and he ends up seeing on the TV and stuff Peter Parker, Spider Man. So it's going to be interesting to see the future clash between this incarnation of Venom and Tom Holland Spider Man. I'm really looking forward to this. This is how you do Venom right, and I've been 100% on board with like the anti-hero version of Venom. Overall, they decided to go with also Mrs. Chan. Love her in the first film and the second film. Great. Love the humor, everything. Overall, I can't say enough positive stuff about Let There Be Carnage. It was arguably probably my most anticipated movie of the year, and it ended up my favorite movie of the year. So I'm glad for that. With that said, I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe. And I'm definitely looking forward. Sadly, they delayed it, but I'm really looking forward to Morbius this year. It's like my most anticipated movie of 2022. But with that said, hopefully you enjoyed the music in the background, and I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe and have a good rest of January. And hopefully this year ends up better than the last 2 years. See you soon.